and thanks, and very kindly documented her experience with us. She put up a question box and she did a brilliant job in answering all of the questions. So what I did was that any questions that Sonya had difficulty with, I screenshotted those and I can actually clarify a lot of what the common questions are. They're the same ones over and over and over again. And Sonya did a fantastic job, and thank you so much, Sonya, for even putting up the question box. So one of the questions, does it work on people who've got very fair brows? These are our biggest clients, actually. Nearly 90% of our clients are people who've got very fair brows, grey brows, or people who've got red hair, sparse, porous. And to be honest, anybody who is very blonde or white hair, grey hair, like tinting wouldn't even last longer than a week. I would say 3 days max, to be honest. So that is why it's ideal for the likes of Sonya. Now, Sonya wears a dark brow pencil anyway. But say, for example, the likes of Derval O'Rourke, who was here last week. Very blonde, very fair eyebrows. Just wants a low maintenance life and ideal. Next question, do you have to continue to maintain your eyebrows? Yes, for the most part, anybody who comes to us generally has a brow anomaly anyway. They're either very sparse or very poor, and they weren't actually attending any of their eyebrow grooming was. So therefore, it's a kind of a new lease of life for them. But for those of you whereby the eyebrow tattoo was created and you're still growing hairs underneath, unless you want them, of course, your eyebrow grooming continues. If the eyebrow hairs grow and they're always sparkly, as in they're grey or blonde, you're going to have to continue to tint those. But you don't even need to go to your beautician for that. You can do that at home, or you can use, it's just here, an eyebrow mascara to coat them every morning. So you just slick the eyebrow mascara a bit like you coat your eyelashes. So does brow grooming continue afterwards? Absolutely it does, but less so. Right, I don't know who sent this. I'll put it down here, but thank you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Okay, so brilliant question. Okay, so if you've got a patch, say, for example, in the middle of your brow, or if you're in the tail of your brow, I think that is to read, can you have a smaller job done? Now, okay, so there was a time when I started this 11 years ago that if somebody had maybe no tails, or maybe they were missing a bit of the head, or they had a brow mishap and they were just missing some hair strokes underneath here, I used to just do that particular area, but it was never a success. That client usually came back because there was a demarcation line. So even if you only need one brow done, I recommend that you have the two done, because it's very obvious that one is done and the other isn't. There's no point in putting in a couple of strokes here and then your regular hair here and then maybe a couple of hair strokes at the tail. It's a brilliant question. Yes, I used to do it once upon a time. It wasn't a success because of the demarcation line. So we do the full brow. Right, is it worth the money? So to date, in the 11 years I've done this, I think particularly my cancer chemotherapy clients have said that having the eyebrows done added more value to their life. Now, that's not to diss anybody who's in the wig business, but for the clients that we have, particularly anybody who is undergoing cancer chemotherapy or has had chemotherapy in the past, they have said to me in the past that the eyebrows, having no eyebrows, made them look sicker than they felt. Therefore, they wanted to look normal, particularly mums with young children. Anybody who had them done because of trichotillomania, that is brought there, which is an impulsive hair pulling thing, that is adds so much value to their life. People who have hormonal problems, thyroid being the most common, postnatal, menopause, the aging process, it's given them a more youthful appearance. So you've got so the fee isn't the fee because it's just expensive. It adds incredible value to your life. So what you get for the fee with us is you get the fact that we're a registered nurse. You get the fact that we are fully trained in bloodborne pathogens, sterility, cross-contamination and sterility. you get the fact that we are professionals and that we are professionals run by a governing body. It's an unregulated industry. So therefore, for example, I had somebody recently who had her eyebrows done for €150. Somebody had done a 2-day training. And then she ended up coming to me 4 months later because she couldn't go back for her step 2 because she was so appalled at what she actually got. So really what she saw on their website and what she got were two totally different things. And people who are charging less money than what we're charging, they either have no insurance, are using crap pigments, which will turn funky colours, or they have little or no experience. It's always one of those three. And this particular girl got the impression that the person who was doing her eyebrows was practicing on her face. So if it's too good to be true, it usually is. How anybody can charge less than what we're charging and still make a profit and running costs is beyond me. So therefore, somebody's got to give. The other thing is, oftentimes the cheaper places put up photographs that they have taken off Google or taken off the web and filtered them within an inch of their life. For example, this particular client that came to me for me to sort out these brows, and she had to start over again, saw this photograph on their website, and that's so highly filtered that it's not realistic. So it's buyer beware, guys. And I really feel that if you are, going to pay cheap, you're going to pay twice. And this girl was mortified and she said, oh my God, I shouldn't have gone to them. Look at these. And they're not what's up on the website. Of course they're not. I mean, what's up on the website is actually not a realistic photograph at all. In fact, if you looked at that photograph, I'll put it up again, so closely that now I'm using a filter today, so I look like as if I have to line a wrinkle. But these are so macro filtered that you see every stroke, and people expect that. And what you got was nothing like that. So yeah, is it worth the money? If it adds value to your life, it's worth the money. And bear in mind that our annual colour boost is €125. Most of the other artists, they charge you €200, irrespective as to how soon you need to come back. So yeah, I think our fee structure is very fair. Right, how do you decide on the shape and colour? Okay, so the shape, I have a whole section here in IGTV on how we decipher the shape. There are 5 design tools that are used to decide the shape. It's actually got to do with me at all. It's a science called facial morphology, and it does all the work for me. I just use the tools, and it never gets the shape wrong. So the shape is designed in accordance with your face shape and in accordance with the Roman numeral PHI, which is 1.618. There's a sticky ruler put on your face to help with the markings to decide where your points are, start, arch and end, and the thickness of the brow, and it never gets wrong. They're both measured on both sides. Even though we're not symmetrical, it gets a great job. And the eyebrows are not sisters. No, they're sisters, not twins, but we get a fairly good draw. So it's my job as a brow artist to create as much symmetry as is possible. And sometimes one client might have one eyebrow higher than the other, and we work underneath the higher one to lower it, and we work on the lower one to above to create different heights and so on. So in relation to the colour, okay, so the reason why a lot of people come to us here in Browtique is because we have a conservative approach. So we usually start with a lighter colour than even like, not with Sonya, I was okay, she knew exactly what she wanted. But for those people who are sort of coming into us and, oh, I'm so scared, we always go for a lighter colour because we can always add to it at step 2. So even if you've had no brow, even with the lighter colour, sometimes you can get brow shock, as in you can get a shock at, having new brows. Even if you used a pencil, you could get brow shock. So we start with a very light colour and add to it at step 2. All right, I think, so that's about the extent of the questions, I think, that came in through Sonia's page today. Yes, we do have consultations, and anybody who is sort of, a bit nobody needs to have a consultation because it's part and parcel of step 1 anyway. But if you were really sort of fearful and fretful, I would highly recommend that you come for a consultation. It's only €50, and you can go on the scheduler and book a consultation today. And when you actually have the consultation, we do the facial morphology, we draw a potential eyebrow on you, we do the patch test, we go through your medical history, and then we give you a new date for you to come back to have the work done. And that €50 that you've paid for your consultation, you get €25 of it back when you come back for your step 2. The fee for step 1 will always be the same at $390, but you get some of the consultation fee back at step 2. Oh yes, and lastly, so Sonya had the Blade and Shade treatment, which is a light powder fill. It looks very dramatic the first day that it's done, even more dramatic the day after, and then it gradually gets softer. So anybody who was looking at Sonya's page today when she was going through all the questions, she had no makeup on, and all you could see was an unmade up face and these very, very dark brows, which is normally the case, irrespective as to what colour I was used. Even if I used the lightest colour that we have 6 different colours and we have 5 different brands, 6 colours in each of the 5 different brands, going from the lightest to the darkest. And even if you had the lightest colour, say if Sonya was, the blonde that she is with very, very sparkly eyebrow hairs, and we used ash brown, say for example, it would still be incredibly dark today and last night, and it'll get softer. So the fact that Sonya went for dark brown, that's why they're so startling. Okay, I better head back to work, and that's it, I think. If there's any further questions, Sonya will send them on to me and I will handle them. But as I say, every single one of the common questions are on IGTV, which is in the middle section here. They're also after being saved up to YouTube, and you will probably find videos up on Facebook as well, and it covers all the common questions. And if you want any further information, we do a copy and paste and send that on to you via email. It's free. So, and bear in mind as well that if you come for a consultation, it doesn't mean that you have to have the work done. Most people might have a consultation and they come back again a year later. So, the timing might not be right. So, but the patch test will always hold. The patch test will be the patch test irrespective. All right, I gotta go.